Okay, so last year I did a video showing you how to kind of get a laptop that wouldn't boot to work, and we did an SSD upgrade in my brother-in-law's laptop. You guys really liked that video. It has tons of views. Unfortunately, we couldn't recover that data off of there, but this is a very similar type video, but it's different. So it's the same, but it's not. Well guys, it's 2019, time to make some New Year's resolutions that probably won't make it to the very first week of February. If you're anything like me anyway. But that's besides the point, because why not learn something new in 2019? And if you're enjoying what you're learning, chances are you're gonna stick with it. That's why we've teamed up with today's sponsor, Skillshare. Now Skillshare has more than 25,000 online classes and workshops, making it easy for you to find something that is gonna interest you, making it much more likely that you're gonna stick with it. Now I'm a huge fan of the graphics design and Excel classes because I used Excel in my old job quite a bit, but I was never very good at it. But you can learn things like pivot tables and graph design. We do graphs around here all the time, making them look better and easy to understand. Now, usually a Skillshare membership will set you back about 10 bucks a month, but right now for the first 250 people that sign up using my link in the description below, you will get 2 months absolutely free. So what are you guys waiting for? Click the link in the description below to use 2019 as an opportunity to not only learn something new, but to better yourself. So this is my niece's laptop. It's a Dell Inspiron 5100. It's definitely not a gaming laptop by any stretch. It's got an Intel Celeron in there, dual core, dual thread, no hyper threading. So this is basically for her to use in school. And she asked me, she said, "Uncle Jay, my computer is running super slow. Can you help me out?" And I was like, yeah, sure, why the heck not? So we're gonna be doing some things today that I think really kind of speaks to the average user out there who doesn't have a lot of money, that has an old computer, they've got to make work, they've got to stretch it, they can't go out and buy a new computer. They might have a couple of bucks to spend on some upgrade parts. So we're going to be playing around with this today to see if we can get this running decently. You'll see once we get into the OS, this thing is running so poorly that the hard drive might as well be bad because we can't get anything to work. And that's my bad, because the way I was able to actually get everything to back up was I just turned on the computer here in the studio without wireless, and everything worked fine. The moment I connected it to wireless, it said, Windows update. And ever since it's been trying to update, it has just been 100% pegged on CPU, 100% pegged on the drive speed and utilization, and 100% on the memory, effectively making this computer like an update virus at this point. Yeah, this just goes to show how Windows updates, when allowed to do their own thing, will just completely wreck your user experience, because this was not terrible. This wasn't terrible, but I have a feeling the reason why she was saying it was unusable at home and then I got it here and I was like, well, I was able to boot it and root around Windows and back up things and had no problems, was because, like I said, we weren't connected to the internet. But at home, I'm pretty sure she is connected to the internet. This is one of those deals where the best upgrade to this system is to just dunk it in a bucket of water and buy a new one. But the point of this video is not everyone can do that. Now Phil wants to go into safe mode and he wants to disable a lot of the services and stuff so that we can actually get it to work and run Geekbench, but I kind of feel like that's counterproductive in the sense of you won't get a true sense of how bad it really is, because of the fact that if we go in there and start deleting things, then that's gonna be counterproductive. But we will include that process so we can kind of show you how to get it working again, because not everyone's gonna be able to do a hard drive upgrade like we're about to do, or an SSD upgrade. So there are ways to actually get it to sort of respond. Now it may look like we're at the desktop, but we still have tray missing here. Bet you if I click the start button, yeah, see, nothing happens. You hear the hard drive clicking away. That's because it is completely, like if I hit Control, so how long ago did I click that? That one finally came up. It's got Norton, McAfee, and Avast all running. So that's like kind of the first thing we would want to do, is go in there and get that crap out of there, because then it's not trying to run an update while also doing OneDrive, or it's got Windows OneDrive installed that's trying to sign in and sync, plus the constant scanning of drives with antivirus software that's probably seeing the other antivirus software as viruses and trying to conflict with each other. So we are going to be starting safe mode with networking, so that we can go in there and set things like Windows updates to a metered connection so it won't automatically download. You just want to trick Windows into not automatically downloading and applying updates. The other thing we're going to do in safe mode is we're going to uninstall those virus scanners. Okay, so go to the start menu, type Wi-Fi, And you're gonna have to do this for your Ethernet settings too. So if you're doing this through a wired connection, it'll be the same process as you're seeing here, only you're gonna also do it for Ethernet connections, not just Wi-Fi. Change Wi-Fi settings. Hopefully we won't get a runtime error, which we've been getting suddenly. Click on Manage Known Networks. Click on your network, go to Properties. And then right here where it says Set as Metered Connection, you're gonna set that to On. Now what that's basically doing is telling Windows, hey, I pay for my data at the rate we use it. We only get so much data per month or whatever your setup may be, so that will stop it from automatically downloading updates. You'll have to manually fetch the updates rather than having them pushed to you. So now we're just gonna go in here and go to Programs, Add Remove Programs, and then just work our way down the list to delete a lot of this bloatware. Now, like I said, I'm going straight for the antivirus stuff. I'm gonna go for OneDrive. So you can see we got Avast Free here. We're gonna uninstall that. Dell Digital Delivery, there's so much crap on here. We're gonna be doing a fresh Windows install, but like I said, what I'm trying to do right now is I am trying to get the main system to actually be responsive. That way you can back up all the stuff you wanna back up. Now you can also back up in safe mode like we just showed you. So that's number one, but maybe you don't wanna back up and do a restart. Maybe you just are trying to clean up the system a little bit, and that is what we're doing here. We are now going to move on to a hardware solution because what we just showed, you could at least get your system back working again. But we've got, and this was basically bottom dollar. My goal with this was to say, if you've got very little budget, some money to spend, but very little budget, I've said it a million times and I'm always gonna say it, an SSD is where you should be spending your money for your first upgrade on a computer that has a hard drive. This right here is going to alleviate the input-output of the drive bottleneck, which this computer is significantly dealing with. The other problem with Dell machines is just how big of a pain in the ass they are to service. They are not designed to be user serviced. So yeah, we're gonna do what we can. All right, so you just saw how much teardown was required to actually get into this. So this is probably one of those, if I had to give a skill rating for someone who's never done anything like this, I'd probably call it maybe a 6 out of 10. But a fear factor, probably more like an 8 out of 10 for somebody who's not comfortable with this, because you are tearing things apart, you're dealing with ribbon cables and little flip-up connectors. You might have also noticed we didn't throw in the memory, because as soon as we opened it up, we realized this thing is so budget that it only has one SODIMM slot. So at that point, taking out that stick and putting in one of these is a downgrade, because this is slower, as we mentioned. So I'm gonna get my money back for that. But yeah, look, things actually happen now when we click on Edge, which no one ever clicks on. The browser actually opens. It's not the snappiest thing. It's still only a dual core 1.6 gigahertz Celeron processor, but stuff happens. So that's kind of neat to see. Windows Defender is still running. That's not been turned off. You've heard me preach it a million times. An SSD, even on the basic builds, people are always like, no, it's okay. I don't mind waiting for my hard drive. I could save a couple bucks. With how cheap SSDs are now, spend the 25 bucks or whatever it is for a 128 gig and just put your OS on there. Because as long as your operating system is not having to share the spinning drive or the platter with other programs that are being accessed, while it's also got all the processes running in the operating system, it will be snappy even if every program you install is on a hard drive. If the OS is on an SSD, the overall speed of the computer will improve, and that's why I will always preach this, and it's only getting cheaper as time goes on. As M.2, NVMEs, and all those become like the more mainstream stuff, the SATA drives are kind of becoming the new hard drives, if you will, in terms of pricing. We now have a computer that, as of the start of this video, was completely and utterly inoperable because of how hard locked it was with the bottlenecks between, I would love to have given her 8 gigabytes of RAM. Maybe we'll update that in the future. Unfortunately, I had to tear the computer all the way back apart to do it because we just assumed it had dual slots and it doesn't, but whatever. But by just removing the bottleneck of a hard drive, you can see this is now usable once again. So I hope this video has shed some light and made you guys kind of think about your systems that are running slow and some things to consider. What programs are running, what programs could be conflicting, multiple antivirus in this case, plus a Windows update. And the fact that if you have a spinning drive, especially 5400 RPM, it's more than likely this guy that's making your computer feel extremely dated. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Hopefully you guys have learned something, and tell me what you guys thought down in the comments below. I still have this idea of starting a video series where we find the most troublesome junkyard type PCs and make them usable. Not like Scrapyard Wars where it's about competing, but seeing what kind of a crazy deal can you get in terms of something that maybe someone thought was broken or obsolete, and then actually making it usable. If you guys want to see that, make sure you comment down below and like this video. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, I'm slamming her driver around. As always, guys, already backed it up, it's fine. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one. So I'm actually really proud of this. You can really gauge how healthy a system is by how fast it shuts down. Check this out. You ready? Actually, really proud.